Hello and welcome to February. Hi, I am so excited for the video today. This is going to be my first ever TBR and it will be my February TBR. I am so excited for this because I love watching TBRs. I don't know what it is. I specifically love the ones that are like prompt jars. I think it's so fun. It's kind of like comes across as like a little scavenger hunt. And I just love seeing what people are reading. I love seeing why they choose a book. I love seeing their what they have on their shelves, etc., or what they have like in mind for something that they're interested in. These are literally some of my favorite videos to watch. So I'm very excited to make my TBR today. With that being said, I have a few things to mention beforehand. One, I think a lot of these videos are made to get physical books off of physical. Oh, hi, Gato. Hi. Hi. Hey, baby. A few things to clear up is that one, I think a lot of these videos are made for people trying to get physical books off of their TBR, like off their actual shelves. That's not my main goal because I don't have like a huge physical TBR, to be honest. I mean, I definitely have a few that I could go through, but I'm not as worried about getting books off my physical TBR. As long as I read one, maybe two a month that are on my physical TBR, then that's fine. So instead, what I have in mind is for the books that I will be choosing from are a few selected prompts. I'll talk about that in a moment, but I've already gone ahead and pre-looked through my like Goodreads TBR, stuff like that, and selected a few that fit the prompts. And then we'll go through them together. I don't know if this is as fun or as conventional as a regular TBR. I just don't have a huge physical TBR to choose from. So that's what we're doing. Another thing to mention before I start my TBR is that I already have two books chosen for the month that I'm definitely reading. I am reading Wuthering Heights by Emily Bronte. I'm trying to read this before the movie comes out. I know that there's been a lot of discussions about how the book is already very different from what we've seen from the trailers. I kind of want to go in and kind of see how different and maybe where Emerald Fennell took inspiration versus decided to not. That I'm trying to read before the movie, so I'm definitely reading that. I've already started reading a few chapters. And then the second book that is another must read this month is Itch. And this is because this is fulfilling my buzzword reading challenge of the month for Book and Lala's reading challenge. And those are something that is on your keyboard. That's for the title. And I know she mentioned in her video that punctuation does count. That is what I'm going for because of the exclamation point. She did say it would be better to like, not better, but she kind of meant more like delete or escape or like space bar, like stuff like that, like have space in the title or any of those other words. But I found this already and I was really excited about it. It was already on my TBR, so I went ahead and stayed with this. And it also fulfills a double reading challenge because the second reading challenge is to find a book with a silhouette on the cover. And if you look closely in her eye, you can see a silhouette of a person. So I'm knocking out two challenges at once. That is another must read. So when I'm picking out my prompts and my TBR prompts for the video, I think I'm going to choose 4. Realistically, I think I can only read 4 to 5 books. So I already have 2. I can probably only really read 3 more, maybe. Hopefully, that's what I'm going for. But I'm going to choose an extra one because I think it'll be fun and I just like this prompting. So I want to choose as many as I can, but also because I'll have a backup in case somehow I finish 5 books this month. Or maybe if I'm really reading something and it's not resonating, I can swap it out for this extra one. And finally, instead of a TBR jar, since I actually don't have one yet, I think that's something I would like to make in the future. But for this one, I wanted it to be fun and kind of themed and a little bit more unique. So instead of a TBR jar, I have a TBR box of chocolates. I just thought it would be cute because it's Valentine's Day or it's February, but like when it's a holiday, it's like the whole month is that holiday. So it's February. Love is in the air. I love love. I love hearts. I love red and I love pink, as you can tell. So I'm very excited about this month. I love February. I love Valentine's Day. So I wanted to do something a little bit different and themed. So basically, what we're going to do is each chocolate has a number behind it that my friend Everest wrote out for me because I didn't want to know what numbers were which. They're all out of order. And I wanted to be surprised. So each chocolate has a number behind it that is equal to either a prompt, a title, a genre, or an activity for me. There's 7 total, 2 of each, except for the activity, which is only 1. And yeah, we're just going to go ahead and choose one. I'm really excited. I think this will be really fun and unique. Okay, and we're going to choose our first one. How cute. I love that these are little bows. I'll set these here. Oh, cute. They wrote that for me. That's so sweet. Happy reading to me. Okay, and for our first one, I think I will just do this middle one is really calling to me. That was my cat in the background. Okay. Number 1, fun. I love that. Yay, this is so exciting. Okay, let's talk about it. Okay, as you saw in my cutaway clip, hopefully we got number 1 for the first one, which is really exciting. I'm like, what are the odds that we got number 1 for the first one? I also want to say, I want to show, here, let me put the lid back on. I kind of want to know what the chocolate is too. Okay, this is a peanut cluster chocolate. That sounds so good. I'm also really excited. I've had these on my table for a while getting ready for this, and I'm really excited to finally eat them. So I will be doing that after this video. Okay, and number 1 is our first pick, and that is in the genre category, and this genre is nonfiction. Oh, this is so exciting. Okay, I had on just like my yearly goals that I want to branch out and try genres and books that I don't normally gravitate towards. Nonfiction is definitely one of them. I feel like I'm always so intrigued by the idea of a nonfiction, but I just, when it comes down to it, I kind of prefer like a little bit of entertainment and some silliness, and I don't dedicate the time to a nonfiction, but that is going to change because we already have our first nonfiction of the year. So here are my options for nonfictions. I think I already know what I'm going to choose. For the other ones, I'm not as sure what I'm going to read yet, so I think that'll be more exciting. But for this one, I'll tell you my options anyway. Okay, and the first nonfiction option I had was Everything is Tuberculosis. I think that's how you say it. I have a really hard time saying that for some reason. But this is by John Green, and it is the history, science, and social impact of tuberculosis, arguing that human choices, not just bacteria, allow it to remain the world's deadliest infectious disease. I've heard really great things about this. I feel like this is a book that people who, no offense, who are not even big readers, I've heard kind of talking about this. So that really intrigued me. And I definitely think I will get to this year. I don't think this will be my choice of the month, but still, I wanted to mention that because I am very much excited to get to that. Next nonfiction option I had was I'm Glad My Mom Died by Jeanette McCurdy. This is another, I feel like, very popular, very hyped nonfiction. And Jeanette McCurdy just released a new book, I think called Half Her Age, that I really want to read as well. That's actually a fiction, but I kind of want to read this one first. I feel like it'll inform my opinion of her fiction book a little bit differently if I read that first. So I definitely want to do that. This one is obviously by Jeanette McCurdy, and it is detailing her difficult childhood, abusive relationship with her controlling mother, and struggles with eating disorders, addiction, and fame while starring in Nickelodeon shows like iCarly. So I think that would have definitely been a really heavy one, but I have heard nothing but good things about that. I feel like Jenna McCurdy really, I'm very happy that she's in a place where she can talk about it. And I feel like I'm very intrigued by her story, especially as someone who grew up watching shows with her. And it's just kind of sad to know that that was all happening behind the scenes. And I just want to be kind of more informed about that. But definitely another nonfiction that is on my list this year, but also not my selection. Okay, and the one I'm going to choose is Between the World and Me, and this is by Ta-Nehisi Coates. And this is structured as a letter to his teenage son. It blends memoir, historical analysis, and reportage to explore American racial history, anti Black violence, and the experience of living in a Black body. It confronts structural white supremacy and the realities of being Black in America. Yeah, I'm very excited to read this. I wanted to include something for Black History Month, as that's February. And I think that this is going to be a really good one. It has I think like a 4 point something on Goodreads. And it's also a pretty short one, which I think is a little less intimidating for me trying to get back into nonfiction reading. But obviously, it is going to be super, in fact, impactful and super, I think, hard hitting and interesting. And another goal of mine this year was to read about different backgrounds and different cultures and learn more, and just become, even more empathetic. I think, especially where we're at today with ICE in Minnesota and Trump in office. Like, this is the time where we should try to explore cultures that are not our own and learn how to be good neighbors, I think. So I'm really excited about this one, and I'm very excited that it is my first pick and my first nonfiction of the year.
Okay, we're going back to it. We have my peanut cluster to the side. Number 1. Okay, the next one that is calling to me, I'm gonna say this one in the corner. 3. Okay. Oh, I'm so excited.
Okay, and I believe this chocolate was a strawberry cream. Oh, that sounds crazy. That sounds really good. So, very intrigued by that. What was our number? It was 3. Yay! Okay, 3 is title. So, I chose 2 books that I just wanted to read. And if I got them, then that would just be it. I wouldn't have to choose. And this is A Killer Kind of Romance. Oh, I'm so excited. I really wanted this one because I wanted some like cute romancy vibes for Valentine's Day and February, but also because it's like kind of a spooky, it's like silly spooky, I think. And I don't know if you know like about Valentine's Halloween. I'm a huge Halloween girl, so whenever I can spook or there you go. Whenever I can sneak in something spooky to whatever, I will. And I'm excited that they're even making spooky-ish romances. So this is described as a romantic suspense novel about a crime podcaster, Scarlett Moore, who finds her life mirroring her shows when a serial killer starts reenacting the crime she discusses on air, all while navigating a complicated romance with her mysterious, brooding neighbor, Raphael Gray, who has just returned to town. Like, I just feel like that sounds so good and so interesting. I don't know how they're gonna incorporate this like serial killer plot line with a romance, but I am very excited to find out. This is so exciting. Okay, I'm really happy that I got at least one of the books that I like specifically chose.
Okay, next one. And we're probably only going to choose 2 more. So this is scary. I feel like I like all my prompts. So, okay, let's choose. Honestly, I'm really eyeing this one. 5. Okay, what was 5? I'll have to see.
Okay, for our chocolate, I believe we got, ooh, a caramel one. Yay, those are my favorite. I love that. So that's exciting. And then for our prompt, we have this prompt is a random prompt, and it is pink cover, a book with a pink cover. Oh, okay, this is exciting. We'll try to put them here so you can see all the pink, but the first one I have is Not in My Book by Katie Holt, and this is a romance novel about 2 rival NYU writing students, the idealistic romance writer Rosie and the literary fiction snob Aiden, who are forced to co-write a novel together, leading to an enemies to lovers romance as their fictional stories mirror their real life attraction. Okay, so the fun thing about being able to make this prompt TBR situation for themed is that I did do a lot of romancy or romance adjacent or whatever themes because I'm like, that's what I want to read in February. It's cute, it's fun. You get it. So yeah, that one sounds really good. Okay, the next one is The Forest Where the Phoenix Sleeps. Okay, and this has pink. Look at the cover, look at the flowers. Okay, so the flowers, that counts. That's pink. And this is by Brooke Marley Jones, and it's a fantasy novel about a burned out barista named Nell who discovered she has magic and is pulled into a dangerous magical realm where she must fight monsters, fall for her rescuer, and confront an evil queen. That sounds really cute, actually. Wait, that sounds really cute. Is this? Oh, I really like that actually. I might choose that one. Next one is Revolve, which I believe is a third in the Off the Ice series, and I have not read the first 2. But I mean, with standalone romances, I don't always feel like if I'm not as intrigued by the other ones, I'm like, eh. But this pink pink writing, and her little dress is pink, which is super cute. This is about Sierra Romanova, and she was an Olympian figure skater before a life-altering accident on the ice left her with panic attacks every time she enters the rink. Now back for her final year at Dalton University, she's ready to reclaim the spotlight with all eyes on her, including those of hockey player Dylan Donova, so similar, whose audacious words goad her back into her skates to prove him wrong. After getting kicked off his hockey team for his reckless behavior, Dylan is left with slim chances of making it to the NHL draft. But Dylan's whole world runs around the ice, and if hockey's forbidden, well, at least there's figure skating. Even better, it means more time at the rink with Sierra. So that sounds really cute. I think it's like not enemies to lovers necessarily, but definitely like there's some minor beef, I think. And who doesn't love a hockey romance, especially in the winter? Okay, and the final one I have chosen for this prompt is The Seven Miracles of Beatrix Holland by Raquel Herron. And this is a contemporary fantasy novel about a pragmatic woman who discovers she's a powerful witch after her husband's infidelity leads her to a remote island where she meets her long lost twin sister and mother, forcing her to confront a magical family legacy and a prophecy that she will die after experiencing seven miracles, all while trying to save her niece from dark forces. That also sounds really good. Now I'm having a hard time deciding. Okay, you know what I'm going to do? That was 4 options. I'm going to just put them in a random number generator, and it's just going to choose for me because I can't make a decision. I think, honestly, I want it to be either the Seven Miracles of Beatrix in Holland or the Forest where the Phoenix Sleeps. I think. Okay, we're going to do a random number generator. It's like a little wheel, so I think this will be cute. Spin. Okay, I got 3, which is the one I think I was least excited for. But maybe that will be the best one. I don't know. Okay. Now I'm like not as excited. Okay. That's fine. I think it'll be great. I'm excited. All right, moving on. So that is my third. Yes, that's my third choice. So now we only have one book left, and then we're done. Now let's go move on to our final choice.
I think I'm intrigued by this one. Looks the yummiest. So, oh, okay, she's stuck. She's a fat girl. 4. Okay, let's see what 4 is.
And for 4, I believe this is the nut caramel one, which is interesting. I'm excited for that. I'm literally going to devour these later. Okay, and number 4 is, oh my God, yes, this is another title challenge. Okay, we're back. I was a little sad about the last one. Not sad. I chose the book. I chose it to be on the prompt. But I think that when I read the other ones, I was a little bit more intrigued. But this is a title challenge, so it's one that I chose, and this one is The One. This is about, this is The One by John Mars, and it is a suspenseful sci-fi thriller about a DNA-based matchmaking service that promises to find your perfect soulmate, but instead uncovers dark secrets and complicated consequences for 5 different couples. Oh my God, I'm so excited. That sounds good. Also, this cover, I feel like is really giving Valentine's Day. And like, or Halloween, this covers are really giving Halloween. Love it. I am so excited. I think you guys are going to hate me. I think this is cheating, but I'm going to switch my last 2 because I'm just way more excited about this one. It's still a random prompt. I feel like, and then I'll have Revolve as my extra. So if I'm done with all my other ones, I'll read Revolve. I promise I will not give up on it if I finish all of the other books I'm reading. But also I already have a romance, so I feel like I needed something else. That means the final book choices are Between the World and Me, A Killer Kind of Romance, The One, and Revolve. And that is in addition to reading Wuthering Heights and Itch. I'm so excited for my book choices. I'm ready to sit down and get to reading because I'm just so excited for this month. Like I said, I love February and I love everything about like the hearts and the pink and the romance of it all. So I'm very excited to get into it. And that has been my February TBR. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.